Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome back to our who else would it be? Welcome back to our Jurassic World Evolution 2 Mods of the Week Spotlight series. Tons of new species to take a look at today. We're going to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 brand new species, some new cosmetics, a new decoration, and some edits to existing decorations and cosmetics. Lots of stuff to check out. Very quick disclaimer as per usual, going to start cutting these shorter and shorter. Mods can cause problems. If they do cause problems, not my fault, not the mod maker's fault, not Frontier's fault. You'll probably be fine, just be smart about it. Let's get started. So we're going to swing Bada from over there and we're going to take a look at a mod called Real Logos for Jurassic World Evolution 2 by RDRR 1985. Now this mod actually came out all the way back in 2022, but I never saw it. It completely passed me by. And when I was touring the Andes Prehistoric Wildlife Park last week, which if you haven't seen the tour by the way, do go check that out because that park is absolutely wild. But that park uses this mod, and since I never covered it initially, I thought I'd showcase it right here. Please do not hit me. LEGO loves to copyright strike people, so let's hope this is fine. But it does basically what it says on the tin. It replaces the existing sort of generic kind of shop signs that we have in the game, and it replaces them with real brands from the real world. So it just makes your park feel a little bit more realistic, a little bit more akin to what you'd see in an actual Jurassic World. So we're going to click through these very quickly. There's some Carlsberg beer, we've got Crave Donuts, Pizza Hut, Waffle Shop, something, ice cream, barbecue grill, McDonald's, boiling crab, KFC, Ben & Jerry's, you get the idea, Dave & Buster's, Sushi Sunset, Adidas, Nike, I'm not saying Nike, Jurassic Traders Outpost, very cool to have that in the game, Lego, 7-Eleven, Brookstone, Apple, Samsung, Jurassic World, Jewelers, you know, there's a couple custom cool ones in there. The Coffee Bean, Tea Bean, Starbucks, Margaritaville, of course, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. And as you can see, it's not only changing the main sign with an appropriate sign shape, but it's also changing these little ones off to the side as well. So, I mean, that already just feels a little bit more like Jurassic World, you know, and I'm sure they're not in the game for good sort of copyright reasons, but there's no reason we can't have them in the game. So here you go, really cool mod, check it out in the link down below. But enough of that, let's check out some of our brand new dinosaur and otherwise species. So this beautiful critter is Datanglong by Master Doot. Absolutely loves his Megaraptorans. Or does he? Datanglong is what we're going to call it, is a Chinese early Cretaceous theropod. It's either a Megaraptoran or a Carcharodontid. We don't know for sure. Now this thing is only known from a single specimen of vertebrae and hip bones. We really don't have much in the way of skeletons for Datanglong. Now I said at the start we're not quite sure what this thing is, but it does seem, whilst the original analysis placed it as a Carcharodontosaurid, more recent analysis does place it pretty firmly in Megaraptoran, with a suggestion that it's a basal coelosaur. And actually, if it is a basal coelosaur, it would be the first basal coelosaur we've got of like a proper good size. This was a fairly large theropod, as you can tell, so it would be the first basal coelosaur of this approximate size, and also it would be a Megaraptoran as said, and Doot has definitely rendered it as a Megaraptoran here, as you can see, but it looks really good. I love the quills here, not just little quills but proper big swooping quills moving out of the elbow there. We've got the sort of the snake skin underbelly there as well, like the Concavinator. And we've got some quills over there at the back of the head as well. We've got that very sleek Megaraptoran shape, kind of that downward tilting slope there. Really nice, interesting pattern going on as well. We've got lovely colour variation, the pattern changing the colour on the quills there. This one is white tipped. This one is yellow tipped with some slightly browner, bloodied claws there as well, looking very cool. It's just a really, I mean, Master Doot, if there's one thing they rock, it's always the theropods, and this is another beautiful example. Fitting in maybe a little bit less, but certainly not any less incredible. This is Kulacus by Hassan Wakatri, and it is amazing. So, Kulacus. A temnospondyle, that is, it's an order of primitive amphibians, or amphibian-esque animals at the very least, from early Cretaceous Australia. Kulacus is also now the fossil emblem for the state of Victoria in Australia, which is pretty cool, as of January 2022. And this thing is pretty huge, growing up to 10 feet in length, pretty bloody gigantic, and weighing up to 500 kilograms. And that's mainly in the skull, as you can see. The skull, if we get like a top view here, is absolutely humongous. The skull has a size estimate, I should say, of about 26 inches or something like that, which is just a little bit bigger than mine. Now, it seems likely that this large head was probably a hunting aid. You can see that it's this wide jaw, this wide grip. So not only does that help with you catching prey originally, you know, if you're a little fishy wishy, put yourself into the mind of a little fishy wishy, you're swimming along. The Kulacus lowers its jaw over the fish or whatever it's hunting. It's got more chance of hitting if you've got a big old mouth, basically. And the other benefit is that if you're catching onto some larger prey, maybe something that requires a good few teeth, again, you've got this big, large grip to clamp down and bite your prey and hold them in place. So that's probably why Kulacus developed this gigantic head. Don't know what I developed mine for personally, but well, maybe we'll find out someday. So, a really cool mod here by Hassan Wakatri. Really, I love seeing things like Kulacus, I love seeing these amphibious, I love seeing these non-dinosaur creatures. Really love the colour variation and patterning we've got going on this thing. That gigantic head, I don't know how this has been rigged so nicely. I suspect it's the Dimetrodon rig, it usually is for this kind of creature. Some slightly wilder ones like this sort of black and orange one. It looks like a Pokemon or something. It's like a magma lizard kind of thing you've seen Pokemon or Monster Hunter or something like that. But really cool, really rigged really nicely. Got that gigantic head. The eyes are a little bit much for me, but other than that, I also really like these sort of striations that we've got. That you see if you look on like the body of a newt, for example, you can see this kind of body shape along the sort of the chest cavity there, and we've got that same thing here. That jaw, loads of teeth opening really wide, as you can see, as I've sort of mentioned in the ambling on before. Looks I mean, you're gonna get caught by that. It's like a Venus flytrap kind of thing. You're gonna get caught. It's a big old mouth. Well, our next creature is something very different indeed. This is part of a big pack. This is by Trippy28, and this is Trip's Africa Pack Part 1, and this contains 6 animals already, and this is only Part 1, so we're going to get even more down the line. This is Osen Etherium. Let me just hop back into, there we go, lovely jubbly. Osen Etherium, which is a pay ungulate, which is actually a new word for me. And that's a group of subungulates. Pay means almost in this context. And that includes things like elephants and hyraxes and Osen Etherium. Hails from the late Eocene of North Africa. These mammalians are basically the same size. You can kind of get a feeling for it right here. It's been scaled really well. Basically the same size as a modern white rhinoceros. And, you know, they've got a similar body shape. We've got horns going on here. But funnily enough, they are very, very distinct and not related to rhinoceroses in any way whatsoever. And it looks really interesting in game. It's got this really striking pink-black coloration, which is not a colour combination we see very much. And then you can see the pattern has added these large scales kind of towards the, well, scale shapes, we should say, towards the back and kind of popping over the top of the pink there as well. It's not my favourite colour combination. I would have maybe lent more in a rhino direction personally, but you know what? It's all personal nonsense. The horns look really cool. I think it's modelled really nicely. It's even got that kind of drooping overhang on the upper lip, which you kind of expect for mammalians of this sort of size. It's really modelled really, really nicely, and incredible. So our next creature in this pack is a stupendously cool Beelzebufo. Again, part of Trippy's Africa pack. And this is the... Look, there's been a couple Beelzebufo mods out there. I have done a very... If you check my shorts... Let me rephrase that video. That comment. If you check my shorts video section, you'll see a video about the Beelzebufo. Because we had a mod in the past that added them to the game. And it was funny, but it wasn't great. These are incredible. These are really, really impressive. I am blown away. This is my favourite mod. I am blown away by how good these look. I don't have much info on Beelzebuffo because we've talked about Beelzebuffo quite a few times on the channel before. It wouldn't be anything new at this point. It's a big-ass frog from, you know, Madagascar. It looks really good. I'm stunned by how well this is rigged, how well this is modelled. That colour variation really comes. This one in particular, I am blown away by how good this is. Well done, Trippy28. This is the best Beelzebuffo. And I don't think that's an easy thing to do. I mean, even those kind of squatted back legs and the chubby body and everything and the head shape, it's a fantastic frog. And it's got those frog eyes, lots of colour variation. This is a top-notch Beelzebuffo. Is it the Min-Me rig? The Min-Maya, I guess it's just... I'm deeply in love with this mod already. Hello, buddy. We may need to make a new frog video. I tell you what, Trippy's brought their A game with this pack. So, this is Nundus, and again, looks really, really good. Looks superb. Nundus is a Crurotausan, another word that was new on me. These are archosaurs more closely related to crocodiles than to birds or other dinosaurs. I'd love to provide more information, but I read the opening paragraph about these things on Wikipedia about 20 times, and I still don't quite get it, so I'm not going to talk any more about it. I'm working on it, I promise. Anyways, Nundus is from Tanzania, Africa. Look at that, what a beast! From Tanzania, Africa. It's a 9 feet long carnivore with sort of steak knife shaped teeth, perfect for obviously rendering flesh. And osteoderms along its back, as you can see right here with these bony osteoderms all the way along the back, much like a modern crocodilian. Now, despite being more similar, as I mentioned, to modern crocodiles than to dinosaurs, you know, as a, what's that horrible word, Crurotausaur, or whatever the heck it was, it's more similar to crocodiles than it is to dinosaurs. Despite that, you can see by looking at it the key difference here. What are these crazy kids up to? And the key difference is actually seen right here. You can see that unlike a modern crocodilian, where the legs are pushed out to the side, the Nundus and others similar to it has the legs directly beneath the body. It's got what's called an upright walking position, or upright standing position, or whatever. So more similar to the dinosaurs in that way, where it's got the legs beneath the body rather than splayed out to the side, which is what you would see in modern crocodilians. Again, I'm just a huge fan of this mod. I think Trippy's done a fantastic job. I don't want to harp on about it, but I just think it looks really cool. That's like the key point to take away from this. It looks really cool. It's modelled really well. It's rigged really well. The patterns with the striping is very appropriate for this kind of creature, but it's got a bit of intrigue there. It's got that lovely crocodilian sort of mouth shape kind of going on with the undulation going on there. I love this one that's sort of semi-albino. It's even got the sort of the red eyes in there as well. Look at they're orange, but it's like the eye of Sauron, which is also cool. That's Nundus. It's very cool. And kind of its own strange thing, this upright crocodilian. Looks incredible. I'm obsessed with this one right here. I don't know why, I can't get over it, but there's a lovely variety of naturalistic colours and again some slightly more bonkers ones. All these animals in the Trippy Africa pack come with the expanded colour core mod as well, which means they've got about 30 different patterns each, which is obviously a little crazy and means they offer tons and tons of variety. There we go. Got it this time. We've actually got 3 more animals on this pack. Oh, I need to zoom in. So this dramatic looking sauropod is Rabachisaurus. This is a Diplodocus from late Cretaceous Africa. Now there's another sauropod called Biosaurus from Ryosaurus, I should say, R-A-Y-O, not B-A, from Argentina, and it seems remarkably similar to Rabachisaurus. If the two are indeed synonymous, it means Rabachi, I think, would take precedence, but it would actually be interesting for a whole other reason, because, well, it would suggest that Rabachisaurus managed to travel from Africa to South America. Now, of course, back in the days of yore, the whole world was connected via Pangaea, but by this point, you know, the world had begun to split apart, and oceans were forming between the land and lakes and blah, blah. It was getting wet, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And we thought that Africa and South America had split quite a lot earlier than the early Cretaceous. However, if it turns out that Rabachisaurus and Ryosaurus are synonymous, then that would suggest that there was a land bridge of some form between Africa and South America, as late as at least the early Cretaceous, if not later, because Rabachi was found all the way in the late Cretaceous, so it could have been even later, but at least the early Cretaceous. And already that would be much later than was previously thought. So Rabachisaurus could turn out to be very important, not just for paleontology, but for geological history, basically. So let's talk about Rabachi itself. This is a nice demonstration here. One thing that makes it very unique against us, a sauropod, is that it has these very tall, ridged back. The vertebrae along the back are very tall and ridged, as you can see, and it makes a sail, which is quite unusual amongst sauropods. Trippy's taken it in quite a dramatic direction. These big, long, pointy sail spikes all the way along the back, but you can still see the sail shape in there as well, propping up there above the thigh and above the chest cavity. Done an extra little interesting detail via the dewlap, which is also spiky. Just bones coming out all over the place, this thing. This one's a little bit mad for me with the... It's just because of the white circle around the eye. It makes it look almost like a clown, which is cool. Yeah, cool. It's just cool to have another large, bright, colourful sauropod. I don't think the skin work on this is as high as the Nundus and the Beelzebufo, but I deeply love those from the bottom of my heart. So it always had a pretty high competition to stack up against them. But it's definitely unique. It stands out so much against the sauropods we have in the game, and that is always a very, very cool thing, I think. So number 5 in Trips Africa Pack, I didn't realise Quetzal was still in here, is Teydrao, a pterodactylid. Let's pause on that for a second. Beautiful. Look at you, little poser. A pterodactylid from late Cretaceous Morocco, and of course well known for having a gigantic head as seen in Prehistoric Planet. Introduced another new word to me here called Conservat Lagerstätten. Right? Conservat Lagerstätten, which I'm assuming is German, or German similar. Tell you what, they fly around a lot. Let's just grab one and sit on it. Not, you know what I mean. So there we go. There's our Tethi right there. Converstat Lagerstätten, which I will get to in just a second. So for a decade now, since about 2015, paleontologists have been buying up pterosaur fossils from fossil traders in Morocco. These fossil trade, basically, there's phosphate mines in Morocco, so they're being worked, exploited, really. And then Moroccan fossil traders buy the fossils that the miners discover, and then those Moroccan fossil traders then act as like a middleman, basically, and sell the fossils to paleontologists from other countries. So for about a decade now, these paleontologists have been buying up all these fossils, and the aim is to establish what was pterosaur diversity like at the end of the Cretaceous era. Now, it was thought for a long time that the only pterosaurs that made it to the end of the Cretaceous were the Atstarchids, like our Quetzalcoatlus over here. And one of the reasons for that, and maybe the lack of information, is because we didn't have a Conservat Lagerstätten. Is it lager or lager? I want to say lager because that's how we say lager. Lagerstätten, a Conservat Lagerstätten, which basically means a dig site or a fossil bed or whatever you want to call it, with a site with huge varieties of species, but also exceptionally preserved species, and that can include things like tissue samples and stuff like that, or tissue indentations and things like that. And that might happen due to unnatural events that kind of wiped the animals out very quickly and then managed to preserve them in certain chemicals, that kind of thing. There's a few all around the world. The Wikipedia page is actually quite interesting to read. You can click on all the different Conservat Lagerstättens around the world. But as it turns out, thanks to this new effort in Morocco, we found a huge number of specimens in Morocco in these exploited phosphate layers. And in 2018, 4 of these newly discovered species were assigned to Teydrao, meaning that other pterosaurs, because Teydrao is a pterodactylid, some people do think it might be an Atstarchid, but they've been kind of shut down a little bit. But it does mean pterosaurs other than Atstarchids survived all the way to the late Cretaceous, which means Teydrao is also very important. Good job, Teydrao. See you later. Now let's check out the mod itself. Another really, really cool looking... this was listed as a bonus animal. I'm not really sure why. But a really cool looking pterosaur here from Trippy as part of the Africa Pack. We still have one more to go after this. But I really like... Again, it's got that huge swooping beak. It's smaller than the version we saw in Prehistoric Planet, which was bonkers. But it's bigger than like our Pteranodon and stuff like that. And then we've got this really interesting wing pattern as well. These kind of splotches moving up to the side. It's almost like big wiggly faded worms, my favourite thing. This interesting sort of ink blot pattern down the back, and then underneath as well you can see these kind of mottled patterns on the lower end of the wings. Just really nicely modelled, really interesting colour variation, fits nicely into the game. A really cool and, again, another sort of important creature. Africa's got a lot of important specimens for the sort of the world, essentially. Yeah, it looks fantastic. I love that burst of crimson at the end of the crest there as well. Very cool stuff. Well, our final creature then for this pack is the Hybodus, the Crooked Tooth, an extinct hybodont, which makes a lot of sense, which is our cartilaginous, there we go, shark-like fish. So not a shark, but a shark-like fish. Let me find one with better colours. There we go. Yeah, you're a beauty. Cartilaginous, shark-like fish. From the Middle Triassic to the Late Cretaceous, this thing did it's cute. This thing survived 2.5 eras. It really made a good go of it. Survived for a very, very long time. Was very successful, generally speaking. And let me find my text on this thing. Where have you gone? You're in the wrong place. Now, it's currently a bit of a wastebasket taxon, as they're called. And what that basically means is that all the animals that are similar to Hybodus and Hybodonts in general kind of get all shoved in there, right? They just get shoved in there. They get shoved in until nothing else fits. And it basically needs reclassification. So there's probably quite a few animals in this grouping that maybe need moving along and separating, and the whole thing needs redoing. But in the meantime, we've got Hybodus looking very, very cool. As you can see, it's got these kind of horns almost, but these spines here. We've got spines here, spines there. There should actually be some more somewhere else. I think there should be some in the lower back. I can't quite remember. Either way, spines everywhere. Big, quite noticeable, giant teeth in this case, these spines. And these were likely just developed as a deterrent to larger predators. This was not a gigantic animal by any stretch of the imagination. And it looks really cool. I think the spines are really nicely rendered. Not all the colours are going to be a hit, but that's kind of the nature of the colour core because it's got such huge variety in colour options. But I think the spines look cool. I think the whole thing is super cute looking. I think anytime you get like a small shark, they look adorable because they've got those big black eyes, you know, it's very, very cute. And this is no different. I think they're kind of adorable. And they'd tear me apart. These things were fairly ferocious hunters. But right now they're super cute, and that's what matters. And that is Trippy's pack. So that's Osen Etherium, Beelzebufo, Hybodus, Nundasuchus, Rabachisaurus, and Teydrao. A humongous, incredibly high quality pack. There's my girl. So this is the Spinosaurus Jurassic World Evolution Legacy Skins pack by Master Doot. Adds 4 new Spinosaur cosmetics, so it doesn't replace anything, they're just cosmetic skins. And they just bring in 4 of the most beloved Spinosaurus skins from Jurassic World Evolution 1, including this one and another one. 2 of my all-time favourites, let's say. This one, I love that sort of orange and blue combination, I think it's fantastic. But I'm just going to show you this over in the hatchery, if we want to go down to Spinosaurus. Perfect. You can see which ones we've got, and they've even got a proper preview. So we've got Rainforest, my other beloved, we've got Wetlands, which is really cool, Steppe, which I don't like, and then Vivid, beautiful stuff. So Rainforest was my my other fave, so let's just pop that out nice and quickly. Could have just put it down with the tool, but it's neither here nor there. We want the drama of the exit animation. Yes, what a beaut. These are the 2, if you go back and check my thumbnails for Jurassic World Evolution 1, 90% of the time if there's a Spinosaurus, it's this one or the Vivid one. These were high up on my list. I'm keeping this mod forever because I really miss these skins. I think these were beautiful, varied. I think they just fit the pattern so well. That dark blue and the slightly teal colours and then the white it's such a cool combination. Big fan of this mod. Throw some extra cosmetics on Spinosaurus. Shout out to Master Doot for that one. Now, we've got one more mod to go. This one will take but a second, and it's just a new decoration. And it's a stupid new decoration. It's by Viral Cyclopes, like most of the stupid decorations. And we're going to hop down into our park. And there is our new decoration. I don't know why I'm showcasing this other than it slightly amuses me. So, this is the deep cardboard cutout by Viral Cyclopes. I have nothing more to say about it. I put it on top of the Dunkelosseus. You know, he's riding the Dunkel, which is, you know, something he would do. But as you can see, if we grab it, it just looks like this. It's just a cardboard cutout of the Deep from the boys. There you go, it's on both sides. I don't know why you'd want this, but also why wouldn't you want this? You know, it's a confusing. You could put it here. You could use it as like an advertising thing if you wanted to again legitimize your park a little bit. That is justifiable. It's weird stuff, but maybe I can commission Viral Cyclops to put Paul Kirby in the game. That would actually make me. Okay, I just want to leave it there. That would make me very happy. Yeah, so some fantastic new species today. Obviously, that pack by RDRR is fantastic as well. Those new decorations. Obviously, this is the highlight right here, but we've seen some really cool new species today, which means I've had to talk lots and lots and lots. Thank you for joining me. I will see you lovely folks very, very soon. If you enjoyed the video, throw me a like down below, and remember to check out the mod list in the description for the link to all of these mods. Go give the mod makers lots of love because they deserve it much more than I do. I'm just the messenger. I'm like Jesus. Thanks for joining me. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.